Hello, welcome back to the REU ECN Podio series. If you thought that was the last of the science influencers, you are wrong. We have
Yeah,
more,
awesome.
and we have Ian Wilhite with us
Yeah.
today, and he's here to talk a little bit about himself, why you
hmm
chose the Science Influencers program. And so first tell us like
hmm
where your internship is going to be this summer.
just from the top then. Hi, my name is Ian. I am a junior, about to be senior whenever classes are over. So I guess I'm a senior now, but I'm a
Oh,
senior robotics
exciting.
and controls engineer through the interdisciplinary engineering program. Uh, I am really interested in developing autonomous systems. I think it's a really cool science. It's a really cool form. It's a really cool uh, like industry to work in and technology to build. My internship this summer is going to be in the University of Maryland, where I'm going to be doing research on autonomous vehicles and actually getting to put my hands on and work on that kind of stuff. And my mentor for that is actually going to be Dr. Gastel out of our very own Science Influencers program.
That's awesome. So tell us, what excites you more about going into your internship?
Uh, the really big thing that I've been so passionate about is this lab doesn't just simulate the results. They have the hardware, they put things together and they test it. And something that you see more and more is uh, different papers will just be a simulation. And there is a lot of value in just simulating the way that your system can gather data and can can make decisions in its
Mm-hmm.
environment. But I think it's really, really important that you can actually get outside the lab and actually flash some software onto your flight controller and go out in the field and actually run something.
Oh, that's awesome. So this is your first like experience like outside of like what you've learned in the classroom, or is
Yeah,
it like okay,
it's my first desk job.
desk
Um,
job? Okay, I gotcha. So do you have any plans like after that? Do you want to go into grad school or
mhm.
like industry, or are you hoping the internship will kind of like help you get there?
So, I mean, I'm absolutely interested in grad school. I don't know what exactly that path is going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the goal eventually somewhere down the road is I want to get that PhD. I want to be there someday.
Yeah.
But as to whether I go into industry and work for a couple of years and then go to get a master's,
Mm-hmm.
I know programs like Los Alamos and Oak Ridge, you can work as a researcher and then you can get a PhD from either University of New Mexico with Los Alamos or University of Tennessee with Oak Ridge. Those are some really tempting options.
Right.
Uh, I don't know exactly what the future holds, but I know that's the direction that I want to be working towards.
Okay, that sounds awesome. So tell us what made you choose the Science Influencers program.
Absolutely. So, as many engineers can probably relate to, I have had a number of very poor professors. And I think there's a lot of, uh, it's really easy to put together a slideshow that covers all of the content, but it is an art form to be able to communicate the content that you're interested in presenting in a meaningful and productive and intuitive way. And you're looking at some of your professors and you're like, oh my God, wow, this is a phenomenal professor. Wow, I walked out of that lecture feeling like I got something out of it. And I was interested in understanding a little bit more about how that happens. How is it possible for you to, what separates the good from the bad? What makes something good and intuitive, honestly? And admittedly, through the program, I was more interested in some of the long form media. The idea of a PowerPoint, the idea of a technical presentation, which we have done. Uh, but I wasn't really expecting a lot of the social media side of things. Like, that was
Mm-hmm.
something that had not even crossed my mind when
Mm-hmm.
applying. And I'm so glad that I ended up working in that direction.
Hmm.
Being able to make Instagram posts, infographics, LinkedIn posts, and like being able to get your message out there and being able to get the information that you care so much about in the hands of people that don't have PhDs.
Right.
uh, I got into it for the long form content, but I really think that I've gotten a lot of interest in the short form content along the way.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like, social media is such a big part of everything now that we kind of have to include it, right?
Yeah.
And so, with that, what do you think? science communication? What do you think the role of science communication is now in like agriculture and the food systems and just
So specifically in agriculture, I'm not the expert here. I'm an engineer at heart. I
Right.
stay on the other side of campus, but I think that over the last semester, we have learned a lot about agriculture specifically as the case in point example for misinformation, disinformation, and all of the ways that knowing what is actually going on can be so incredibly challenging. And I think the biggest challenge in agriculture is, I want to say it's the marketing and the branding that is deceptive or misleading. It's so easy to say, my food is the best, my ground beef is the best, my egg is the best, my celery is the best. But it's so hard to quantify, like, if I say that this celery has magic in it, what does it mean to have magic? What does that buzzword, what substance does that buzzword have behind it? What makes that different? What does it mean that something is organic? What does it mean that something is GMO free? And I think that the biggest challenge is in defining the keywords and separating the scientific terminology from the marketing buzzwords.
Right. Very interesting. Yeah. So, well, what advice would you give now that you've said your views on science communication? What advice would you give to like future students that want to get involved in the program or just want to like engage in or learn a little bit more about science communication or just get in that field?
I would say application is king. I think the number one best way to learn how, like, what works on Instagram and what works on LinkedIn is to really just get out there and do it. Over the course of this last semester, although it's not really with the science communications, through the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, shout out, I've been the secretary and I've been running the Instagram page for a lot of it. And I've had a team of officers under me developing this social media content and putting it out there. And it's been really, really cool to see this is how our stories perform. This is how our posts perform. This is how our reels perform. And it's how the things that you didn't really think about of when we do a post that is just, hey, we have an event at this time, it gets a certain number of views, it gets a certain number of likes. When we have a reel that is cool and has people's faces in it, like our second best piece of media over the entire semester, or over the course of the year, was we did an ice skating night. And I just ran around and in less than 5 minutes got like 6 clips from 6 different people, but I used a trending audio, and it was a viral medium at the time. It was the what are you going to get on this exam? 100. But it was, how many times are you going to fall tonight? 100. And it was funny and it was lighthearted, and so many people shared it and so many people reposted it that it ended up being like our second best piece of media that I had just done on a whim in like 5 minutes in an ice skating arena.
Good. So I guess just like Nike, just do it, right?
Just do it, absolutely, okay. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll stay tuned for the rest of the Science Influencers.
Thank you.